What up, what up, what up, what up? Your boy Left Lane Hip Hop. Yo, so this is a topic, man, that I wanted to touch on for a while, actually. I've had conversations with homies and stuff like that that's into hip hop, that's into battle rap, all of that. But this is more so about battle rap than it is overall hip hop, but it leans into that. It bleeds into that as well. But speaking specifically about hip hop for a moment, battle rap for a moment. The question is, has battle rap reached its full potential? Can battle rap still grow? And if so, what's stopping it from growing, and how can it grow? So I hear a few battle rappers say, they've made, this is minus Caffeine era, they made 50,000, 60,000. Mook came out and said he got 200,000. We know Cassidy got 200, like 40,000 or something with the Diz battle. But can this be something that battle rappers can get rich off of, or can get money equivalent to mainstream rappers, industry rappers? Just to touch on that aspect right there. Can they get as much money or make as much revenue as industry rappers? Yes and no. There's a few things that I think prevent these things from happening. I think, yes, battle rappers could make $100,000 a battle and have 6-7 battles in a year. I think battle rappers could make continuous revenue like industry rappers. One of the biggest revenue sources for industry rappers is touring, doing shows. $20,000 a show, $30,000, $50,000 a show. They go on tour, hit 30 cities, do that once a year, twice a year, and then also fill in little shows here. Not tours, just go do this show, that show, here, there, boom, boom. There you go. They made $1 million, $2 million in a year, right? I think there's ways for battle rap to do this. As far as what hurt battle rap or the growth of battle rap is expanding battle rap. When I say expanding, I don't mean just new art, new battle rappers. I mean expanding the dynamics of battle rap. The very first thing battle rap should have done or should do is ally with the mainstream, bringing in rappers, because there's a lot of battle rappers who are rappers, right? That love battle rap. The reason why they love battle rap is because they could see themselves doing it. They just can't do it. But why can they not do it? Or why do they not want to do it? I think the biggest thing that hurt battle rap and battle rappers from preventing that dynamic to merge is because battle rappers don't understand the science. They don't understand the business. You guys aren't looking at it as a business. You're still thinking so small that you're thinking battle. I just gotta win this battle and get this hype or this talk for a month, and then I'm on to the next thing. And what I mean by that is you have to understand, when an industry rapper, if an industry rapper was to come into battle rap, they're not going to do battle rap as you guys do battle rap, right? As far as attacking your opponent, disrespecting your opponent, getting in your opponent's face, screaming in their face, calling them all kind of bitches, all of these type of things. They can't afford that because their image, right? Not only that, there's so much information out there on these battle rappers. Their lives is on the big screen, right? But yours isn't. They don't know enough about you. They don't know. They're not that tapped into battle rap to even have that type of talk with you. So what I'm saying is, if battle rappers understood that and then said, okay, well, I'm a battle whoever, say Lloyd Banks. You don't go in and disrespect Lloyd Banks, get in his face and, this, that, and just say the craziest wild shit you could think of and yada, yada, yada. He can't afford that. It's not worth it for him to take that kind of hit. It's going to go viral. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be on World Star, old dude, talk crazy, Lloyd, yada, yada, whatever. And his fans don't understand the dynamic of battle rap. They're just looking at him like, damn, Lloyd's like, damn, let the dude talk to him like that. What you should do is, when you battle an entertainer or someone from that industry, you don't take that approach, right? You battle them, you disrespect them, say stuff, but you don't get it so interpersonal with them to where it's like, nah, I ain't even with that. It's not that they're not scared of your rapping ability. They're scared of the blowback that could happen from what you could say. Look at what happened with Geechee Gotti when he battled Easy and how crazy he talked to Remy. That was everywhere, right? That was everywhere, how crazy he talked to Remy. You see what I'm saying? She can't afford that. That was damaging to her. It was everywhere, right? Like it went super viral, right? So people still watch it to this day. You think another entertainer, another industry rapper gonna look and see that and be like, yo, I can't wait to get in there and try that? Because they're not even, they don't care to attack you that way. They just want to. I remember when Hollow Da Don battled Joe Budden, right? Joe Budden, they asked Joe Budden, why did you want to go to do the battle rap? Why did you even go into the lane of battle? Joe Budden didn't need battle rap. But he said, man, I love and clearly he loves battle rap, right? But he was like, yo, in order for it to grow, I remember hearing him say this. He was on, I think they were on The Breakfast Club. Him and Howard the Don were on The Breakfast Club together. And they asked him, like, yo, why did you want to do? And he was like, yo, well, I feel like for it to grow, that, it's going to need the notoriety of, some people that that's been in the industry, got some fame. And I agree with that. And that's how they would get to that next level. And that's what Joe was trying to do. But when he got into that battle, Hollow Da Don got so personal, got in his face, talk crazy. I think Hollow Da Don even said, man, I wish you would touch a woman, I'll beat you at, and all of this, then and third. Joe Budden can't afford that. That made him look super crazy. It wasn't even about who the better bars, nobody even cared about that. It was how crazy it looked, and how you think another industry rapper's looking back like, damn, I can't wait to get in there and get, have them talk crazy about me. Like, nobody's going to do this. It's not worth it for them. I remember when Lady Luck battled Miss Hustle. Lady Luck was surprised. She was like hurt because her and Miss Hustle had a relationship. They were cool. You know what I'm saying? They were cool. And I know Lady Luck. She from Jersey. I know her. She's mad cool. Lady Luck is the coolest chick. Like, she's so cool. Hood, but she's so cool. And she was like, she was thrown off. She was like, yo, what? Like, I thought we was cool. You talking all this, that, my kids. Like, you going crazy on my face and all this. And if you notice, Luck was just trying to rap with her. Right? Like, she wasn't trying to do all of this interpersonal. You can attack me with your bars, talk about how you gonna slack me and how you gonna do this and how you gonna do that. But when you start getting interpersonal with them, it's like, nah, why would I do that? And I think that is what hurt battle rap. That's why Jada say, well, for me to go in there, I need 2 million or whatever the case may be. If I'm gonna take that kind of disrespect, because they know you're going to disrespect. And see, that's the problem. It's like, you guys, y'all not thinking business and growing the business. Y'all thinking, because even Method Man said he would love to get in there. But he was like, man, I ain't do. If you remember when Method Man and Math battled, it was a decent battle. Like, I didn't like the voiceover thing they did and all that, but it was decent, right? It was decent, but math ain't get crazy personal and all of that. You dig what I'm saying? And that's why Mims did the battle with him. That's why the other boy I can't think of did the battle with him. You know what I'm saying? Because they not gonna dig into your life and do all that like what you're gonna do. You dig what I'm saying? Like I remember when DNA and Shine did BET. They didn't get interpersonal, they just battled, right? And it was entertaining. That's how you have to do it in order to get these other entertainers to come in. It would be battle rap would be so much bigger if they understood this dynamic, right? And they stood this, and now you can say, well, that ain't battle rap. That ain't battle rap. Well, okay, cool. That's how you feel. But I can tell you, it's not going to grow past where it is. Without them, without the industry, it's just not going to go further than that. But let's just say this. Can the battle rappers get continuous revenue? Sure they could. Continuous revenue? Sure they could. Think about this. What if you did a tour? We got all these cities, right? All over the country. LA, Philly, Jersey, Texas. Houston, places in, Chicago. All these different places. Detroit. All these different cities. Right, that love battle rap, that's in tune with battle rap. Well, you could take that same battle and go from city to city to city to city and city to city and do the battle. You just don't do a VOD. You just don't do a VOD. You don't air it, and you just go on tour, just like a tour would. And you go on tour with the same battles, the same raps. No, if you go to Philly and do those bars, and then go to Texas and do the same bars, and then go here and do the same bar, now it's a show, almost like a comedy show. I went to 2 different cities to see the Kings of Comedy. I'm from Jersey. I seen them in Atlantic City, and I seen them again in I think it was in Maryland, Baltimore, or something like that. I think it was. They came. I think it was Baltimore. Yeah, I know there was Atlantic City, and then I think Baltimore. I think that's where I seen them at twice. But I seen them twice, right? And they did the same jokes. They something here, something there. I think the second one, DL Hughley had performed first, but I think the second one, he performed second, but they pretty much did the same jokes on tour. Well, people in New York and Houston is not going to hear those same jokes. You see what I'm saying? Not until then then it eventually comes out on DVD. Well, you could do the same thing with battle rap. Y'all can just go on tour, take the battle rap you got 6 battlers on the card. 7 battles or whatever, however many you got on the card, and then take the battle on tour. And now the battle rappers can get continuous revenue off of those battles, off of their work. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't know how it work on the back end, how the league is paying for them traveling and so forth and so on. But it could be done. If the money's right, it could be done. And that's a way that the battlers can make continuous revenue. Because every time I think about it, I'm like, man, it really never makes sense, man, for those bars to, they live in a vault and the rappers don't make no money off the bars after that. They get $10,000 with the battle and they don't get no money after that. You know what I'm saying? There's no revenue coming their way after the battle, after they get paid for the battle. And it just didn't make sense to me that they don't get continuous money off of that. And I think those 2 elements, if battle rap could make it work, I think the rappers, they could make money. I think they could, have a healthy life, and make continuous, revenue off of battle rap. To where what I'm saying is this is a profession. And I hear these guys say my career. That's cool. I get that. But I'm talking about having residual from your career, right? I don't know too many battle rappers that can retire from battle rap right now and be like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Or I got enough money where I can invest in my own. But there's a handful, right? A handful. And most of them got something else going on outside of battle rap, right? Goods, Hitman, Surf. These guys got other things going on outside of battle rap. Easy, Geechee Gotti, these guys, right? But I'm talking about the ones who just pure battle rap. If look at all the battles that Tay Roc got, all those battles that he's done, but he can't earn no revenue off of any of those battles now. But think about him being able to go on tour with those battles, right? Like, let's say all the battles he did in a year, right? Or say 3 battles he did in a year, they could match those battles up with whatever battles in a year and take those battles on tour, right? They could specifically do battles and say these battles are for touring, meaning there's going to be no VOD, they're not going to be on the app, they're just going to be battles that that they're going to tour with. They could make that. They could make the money. People would pay to go see these battles, and that's where again the industry rappers mix in at, because now you can make it a concert, a show, right? You got 3 battles and you got 2 artists performing. So you got a battle, say Geechee Gotti and whoever battle, Tay Roc battle, and then you got Fab come out and do he do a couple songs, and then you go into John and Surf battle, and then so and so do a song, and then you go into the final battle. Boom, everybody gets some money. You could do it. Could be done, and I didn't even think about it until I seen them battle on BET. And how everybody in BET was in tune to it. Now, they didn't know no backstories, or a lot of them didn't know no backstories on Shine. A lot of them didn't know no backstory on DNA and all this other stuff, but they didn't get into all of that. You know what I mean? Like, even when Gotti did it, they didn't get into all that. I remember Gotti did the BET, and then the next day, he went to Philly to go battle Tay Roc. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't know the backstory of all of that. Like, you know what I mean? What Geechee Gotti was talking about. They didn't need to know because it was entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And I think it would really work but to make something like that work, you definitely would need investors. They have that. I think they also need, I think it would be a collaboration of leagues. You know what I mean? To make something like this happen. But I think if they could figure out a way to take the show on the road, not just going to Houston doing, Summer Jam or whatever they call it, Summer Impact or whatever it's called, Summer Madness, that's what it's called. If they not just doing Summer Madness, but having Summer Madness be a tour, right? We're gonna hit 12 cities. A 12-city tour. You know what I'm saying? And each battle rapper get paid, X, Y, and Z, throughout the tour. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that would really be amazing for the battle rappers. I think it would be amazing for the culture. But that's just the way my mind is wired. But even without the tour, can battle rap grow beyond it? I don't think it could grow any bigger than it is without bringing the industry rappers in. So-called industry rappers in. I don't think it could grow any bigger than that. Any bigger than what it is now. Hell, listen. The URL took battle rap off of YouTube. They started pumping a couple here and there on YouTube, or whatever. Cool. But the momentum that they had from YouTube, the fans that was locked into it from YouTube, they lost them. And a lot of them didn't come back. Right? A lot of them didn't come back. And that hurt battle rap. That right there, we seen how bad them taking them off because there wasn't no more stars that was created after that. I heard I forget which one it was from URL did an interview, and he was like, we got a formula and yada yada yada, and he was like, look, we look at Easy, we was able to grow Easy, without YouTube, and we put him into our formula, whatever. I will say this: we'll make another Hove. You made Hove, then make another Hove. Because Easy made itself. Let's just be clear. You guys were the platform, sure, and you were the audience, sure, but Easy put the work in and did what he needed to do to get his name out there, right? Like when he did that, the biggest thing that benefited Easy career at that time was when he did that song, Top Tier. Top Tier. Because that right there set him apart. And because that's the issue, is that you got a pack of battle rappers and everybody say, oh, they all battle rap, they all the same. But what Easy did was say, I'm gonna do something to set myself apart from that. And that he isolated himself, and that is what made him, who he is today. To me, that was the biggest boost. Now, obviously, like I said, the URL platform was great. Also, with URL beefing with RBE, I know RBE understands it. RBE, I watch RBE all the time. RBE, man, bro is a super smart dude, highly intelligent, abnormal intelligence. Right, I know, I can see it. Right, I see what he say, how he thinks. Like, bro is on a different level when it comes to, I know he got people that help him. I know he got a team, but dude is a highly intelligent dude, so I know he knows this. Smack, URL, their ideology and their thought process, I don't think they know this. But them beefing with RBE, that actually hurt battle rap more than it helped them. They're thinking, okay, well, we're going to isolate RBE. We're going to prevent superstar battle rappers that we got going over to RBE. And I know they think that that's hurting RBE, and it did hurt RBE. But I don't think they understand how much it hurt them too. First of all, just think about it. RBE was the second next major platform, and they had faithful followers. So any of your newer rappers or battle rappers would have grew over there as well. That would have helped them get more money, more exposure, so forth and so on. It just didn't make sense. It don't make sense. Like, think about this. Think about Gotti being able to, because if with them preventing these other superstars like Surf and all these guys from continuing to battle on RBE, what you did was stunt the growth of new up and coming artists that RBE was willing to put investments into, brick by brick, all of that. Those same artists would have been on your platform. And that would have enabled you guys to just focus on your app. RBE would have had all these guys on YouTube. The same guys that were battling on your... So he would have been taking that, what you call a hit, and you guys would have been getting the money on your app still. And he would have kept it going on YouTube. But what you guys did was say, oh, no, well, we ain't doing that. We going to shut RB. You guys didn't understand how much that hurt your platform. Because this is why you guys don't have this. This is why there hasn't been a new mega star since Really Easy. If we being real, we got battle rappers that are better than Easy that has come out. Eunice, these guys. They probably not going to ever reach that stardom. Like, in addition to that, you needed RBE. Even if you need them just for I like that movie with the Joker and Batman was like, yo, why are you trying to kill me? And Joker was like, man, I'm not trying to kill you. Why would I do that? Like, I need you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you make me great. You dig what I'm saying? You need that competitiveness. Now URL don't have it. So they just like, we doing whatever we doing. Not only that, when Smack says, oh, well, you guys, the game is saturated now. Got all these other leagues popping up. Well, of course they are. Of course they popping up. Once RBE's gone, now you think the league's just going, you think all these battle rappers is going to sit around and wait for URL? Of course that opened the door for other. I started to think about starting me a league. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I might go start me a league. Get me a little bit of that battle rap money. Shit. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, I just feel like these things. I seen Mills's blog on what hurt battle rap and all that, and I agree with a lot of it. You know what I mean? For real, I really agree with a lot of it. But I just feel like, you know what I mean? The two main components is battle rappers not understanding the business. You dig what I'm saying? Because if battle rap was battling on stage, having a rap battle on stage, right? You would see other rappers. You would see Lloyd Banks and maybe Fabulous. You see what I'm saying? You might see a Lloyd Banks and a John or these guys. You would have seen these. You would have had these things. But again, these industry rappers they can't afford that, to take that kind of hit. And why would they? When they could just go do a show and make the same money. You know what I mean? Or more money. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. But if battle rappers would have understood and said, okay, well, we're not going to get super personal. We're not going to do all that. This is an industry rapper, but we're going to go and show our skill set. Cool. All right, cool. And I think that would work. I think the other thing is what Millsy's doing. I think that also helps battle rap. I think more battle rappers should get on wax. I think more y'all should get on wax and battle each other. You know what I'm saying? I think it should. I think if you do a stage battle, you should also do a battle on record. To me, I think everybody should do that. We battle on stage and then we do a record. Or do a record, then we go on stage. I think that should be part of the whole package every time. Every time. And that would even be bigger for the tour. Because now you got a record you can rock do with the tour, and then, you know what I mean, battle with that. Then y'all do your actual stand-up battle. You know what I'm saying? Stage battle. I think all of that would work, man. But, to each his own, man. You know what I mean? I'm just a viewer, man. I'm just a fan, man. I'm just a fan. You dig what I'm saying? Just a fan. But anyway, man, that was just my touch on it, man. I'm out of here, man. I you know what I mean? I don't think I got no more topics this evening. But you know what? I'll probably be back tomorrow. Drop something tomorrow. Like I said, man, I got some more free time now. Like I said, I've been wanting to kind of get on and talk, about stuff or whatever that's on my mind. And I just really haven't had time to over the last several years. I've been busy trying to build this empire. But like I said, I got some time now. So I'm gonna be on here more. I don't know about every day. But I'm gonna be on here more talking about this, talking about that. You know what I mean? So I like not just battle rap, be talking about hip hop and all that. We just had a discussion the other day about who's really the king of hip hop? Is it Jay-Z? Is it this, that? We had a big conversation about that. So that's something I want to touch on. We was also talking about Big Pun's album. Who had the nicest verse on Big Pun album? Did Big Pun have the best verse on his album? You'd be surprised on who I think had the best verse on Big Pun's album. It's not Big Pun. I think somebody had the best verse on Big Pun's album that's not Big Pun. And if we say he didn't have the best, if we're saying this person didn't have the best verse on the album, they definitely had the best verse on the song by far. When people say kill Eminem, kill Jay-Z, this particular person annihilated Big Pun. And I had never heard Big Pun be annihilated on a record before. I remember when he did a joint with Nas and Fat Joe and all that. What was that song called? John Blaze. And Big Pun, he just, even if I stuttered, I would still shit on you. I ain't with the chitter chat, the pat. Man, y'all don't want it. Y'all don't want it. Y'all don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want me to start spitting on it. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I got flame. Boy, got fire. You know what I'm saying? But Big Pun to me is one of the illest rappers of all time. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? Pun's second album was underrated because he couldn't, he had a hard time delivering his verse. It was a lot of punch-ins. I used to record, so I could tell it's a lot of punching in, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And they was trying to crop the verses together and all of that. It was still a solid album though, but if you listen to the first album, listen to the second album, you could tell it was he just couldn't go. He just couldn't do it. And that was very tragic because I think if Big Pun could have got 4 albums, 4 or 5 albums. But see, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. This is why you hear a lot of what they call one-hit wonders, or people got one good album and yada yada yada, because it's hard to constantly come up with creative thoughts, fresh thoughts, new thoughts, and keep creating. It's hard. You know what I mean? So when you see a rapper like a Jay-Z, a Busta Rhymes, Pac, all these guys who got albums after album after album after album, and they don't miss. Even if the album ain't that fire, they got 4 or 5 songs on the album that's still fire. You know what I mean? That is very, 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 very hard to do from somebody who recorded, records and albums and things like that. I can tell you it's very hard to do. You get writer's block. You got to think. You still got things going on in your life. Things, happening. You got time. It's not an easy thing. And I can imagine being on a label where you got a deadline. You got all these other things, and you still got to eat. How you gonna eat? You gotta go do shows. You got all these different things going on. It's very hard to do. So that's why when you start talking about greats and all of that, that's the first thing I look at. That's one of my things. How many albums they got? How many hot records they got? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where I take it from there. You know what I mean? That's my first one. That's why, I see Big and the potential of Big being the greatest, and I do think Big is probably one of the greatest wordsmith out there. But I can't say he's the greatest of all time when he don't even have enough music to go all time. That's like seeing a boxer fight 2 fights. And be like, he the greatest of all time. He knocked both of them out, but he had 2 fights. You know what I mean? Floyd had 50. You know what I mean? Like, it's unfortunate, but it's hard to. The only one that I can say that died early like that is Pac, because Pac, we already know Pac had endless creativity. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Before the world really embraced Pac, before they even really embraced him, Pac had already had, 2 albums? Before the world even really embraced him. People don't even know Pac had an album. Well, I'm sure people know. Pac had an album. I don't want to get too much into this, man. Maybe I might do another one tonight, man. Talk about just bullshit about hip-hop, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want to get y'all too much. You dig what I'm saying? I try to tell them to keep these joints under a half hour. But anyway, man, I'm out of here, man. It's your boy Left Lane Hip Hop. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe.